Hey gems! Happy holidays, Merry Christmas! This is going to be my Christmas makeup tutorial or holiday look tutorial for you guys this year. I have been absolutely loving playing with all of my new products that I got in my recent Ulta and Sephora haul. If you guys want to check that video out, I will leave a link in the description box. I just want to let you guys know I did end up taking that Tarte palette back. I didn't really think that the quality of the shadows was worth the money that I paid for it, so I went ahead and took it back, and instead I got this little Stila kit. I did not use it in the tutorial today, but I wanted to show you guys real quick what came in it. It is a beautiful little set, and inside you get a little trio of a blush, bronzer, and highlighter, which are gorgeous and beautifully pigmented. You get another little palette that is a 5-pan eyeshadow palette with some gorgeous colors. I really wanted to play around with these and do another tutorial for you guys, maybe a New Year's Eve look. And then also it comes with a Stila smudge stick waterproof eyeliner in the color Stingray, which is a cult classic in the beauty world. And then a Stila lip glaze. Let me try to get it out real quick. In the color Guava. So it looks like that. And then I also picked up the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder, which I did use in the tutorial today. Oh my god, if you have oily skin like I do and your oil shows throughout the day, pick this up. Ever since I started using this, I don't have to blot, I don't have to do my powder on my face. It stays in place and keeps the oils under control all day long. So I showed you guys this in the tutorial, so go ahead and check that out. So if you want to see how I got this absolutely gorgeous look, I did bring back the red lips because it's Christmas time and it makes me feel very festive. So if you guys want to see how I got this beautiful look, please keep watching and I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye! Starting off with a toner from Fresh all over my face with a cotton ball. I'm priming my face with a mineral infused primer from e.l.f. that I just recently picked up, and a Real Techniques multitask brush. I've been loving the Kat Von D Tattoo Foundation with a Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. This is the best full coverage foundation I have ever used. To set my foundation in place, I'm using Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. I'm just making sure that there's no foundation on my eyelids before I prime them, and I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which is my all-time favorite primer for my eyes. Now for the fun part. I'm using the Too Faced Le Grand Palette palette, and first going in with white chocolate with a flat shadow brush from Smashbox all over the lid and up to the brow. I'm also using the Too Faced Stardust palette. As you can tell, I'm very excited. Mixing Millennial and Girls Night for my transition shades with a fluffy brush by e.l.f. This is actually a concealer brush, but I use it for my blending brush. I'm just mixing these two colors and putting them in the crease to add a little bit of dimension to my eyes. Going back to the Grand Palette palette, getting a little bit of cobblestone on a smaller shadow brush to really carve out my crease. Because of my hooded eyes, this really helps to make your crease visible. I'm going to be swapping between the Stardust palette and the Grand Palette palette, but I'm taking #selfie with a shadow brush from Real Techniques and putting this on the inner half of my eyes. I love the way that this shadow makes your eyes pop in the inner corners. It's absolutely beautiful. Now taking Showgirl from the Stardust palette with the same Real Techniques brush on the outer half of my lids to start my smoky eye. You want to make sure to tap off your brush because these shadows do tend to have a little bit of fallout. Going in with Jackpot on an angled brush from e.l.f. to really start to smoke out the outer half of my eyes. This is so gorgeous. I'm absolutely in love. Then I'm going back to the Real Techniques brush and just tiny dipping it in there because this shadow is super pigmented, just to blend it in a little bit more. To add a pop of color to the center of my eye, I'm going in with Golden Nugget to add a little bit of gold. Just taking my sponge to sharpen up the outer corners and get rid of any fallout that may have happened under my eyes. Just taking my blending brush and blend. Let's add a little glitter. From the Grand Palette palette, I'm using Moon on Their Wings with a flat brush. Make sure to tap this one out because it does have fallout. Now with our original Smashbox brush, we're using Vintage Lace from the Grand Palette palette as a brow bone highlight. Using Showgirl and Jackpot from the Stardust palette on a little angle brush to smoke out the lower lash line. I wanted to brighten up my inner corner just a little bit more, so I'm taking Chandelier and hashtag selfie and just brightening up that little inner corner just a little bit more. On to my favorite part, I'm using the Tattoo Liner and Trooper from Kat Von D to do my classic wing. And you guys, this is now my all-time favorite liquid liner ever. It is so pigmented and beautiful, you guys gotta get it. To keep that liner in place, I am just going over it with a black matte eyeshadow to make sure it doesn't transfer or smudge anytime throughout the day. This is a little trick that I have and it works beautifully. To tightline and do my waterline, I am just using Urban Decay's Perversion. Don't forget to curl those lashes. I always use the CoverGirl Clump Crusher to almost prime my lashes for mascara, and then I'm going in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is an amazing mascara. I also used the L'Oreal Miss Manga to do my bottom lash line, but it didn't record. Time to fill in those little browsy brows using the NYX Wax Pencil first. Then I'm going in with the NYX Tame and Frame Tinted Brow Pomade in Chocolate and a tiny little angled brush from Starlooks. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite brow product of all time. I use the pomade to outline my brows and fill them in a little bit. Then I go in with the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder to really make sure that my eyebrows look opaque. Because even though I have brow hair, the hair is not pigmented at all, so I need to use that to make sure it looks like I have brows. Then going in with the Maybelline Brow Drama in Dark Brown to set the browsies because we don't want them flapping around in the wind all day. Concealer time. I like to mix my concealer, so I'm mixing the HD from NYX, the No More Dark Circles, and the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline, and blending it all in with the sponge I used for my foundation. Also, I'm doing this to highlight around my face a little. And because my dark circles didn't want to go away, I'm adding a little bit of the Kat Von D Tattoo Foundation with a tiny little brush. And to set my concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder with a setting brush from Real Techniques. To contour, I'm using the Ulta Contour Kit I recently hauled, mixing Warmth and Bombshell on a fluffy angled brush from Coastal Scent. Then with the Real Techniques microfiber brush, I'm using a little bit of golden because I wanted to darken up the contour just a tiny bit, but this is super pigmented, so be careful with it. And just going in the hollows of my cheek, around my hairline, down my nose, on each side a little, and my jawline. Oh boy guys, I couldn't wait to share this with you guys. Ruth, my friend, aka World of Peru, got me a Chanel blush for Christmas in the color Angelique. I am so in love with this. I couldn't wait to show you guys until after Christmas, so I used it in this tutorial. I just picked up the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder recently, and this is a game changer and a lifesaver if you have oily skin. Just to set everything in place, I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Powder Foundation with a duo fiber brush. And to lock all of our makeup in place, the NYX Matte Finish Spray. For my highlight, I'm just mixing Radiance and Luster from the Ulta Contour Palette. Moving on to lips, I'm using the Jordana lip liner in Plush Plum to outline my lips and fill them in. I just use a little lip brush just to make sure that my lines are all nice and even. Told you I was bringing back that red lip. NYX Matte Alabama lipstick is my all-time fave, and you guys know this. It is definitely my go-to, as well as the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in Outlaw. This is my favorite combo, you guys. Now this may sound a little weird, but I actually use a little bit of setting powder with a flat foundation brush on my lips, and this makes sure that it stays in place all day long, doesn't budge, doesn't smudge. And here is our beautiful finished look for the holidays. I'm absolutely in love with it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you're enjoying the Jingle Gems December of all of my fun DIY tutorials. So if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps out on my channel. Click that little red button below and subscribe. Become a member of my M's Gems family. It only takes a second and it's free. So that way you don't miss out on any of the fun videos I have coming up. Please check the description box for all of my social media sites. I have been posting every single day on my M's Gems page and on Instagram about my advent calendars that I showed you guys in my haul. So if you guys haven't been able to check those out yet, please go ahead and check out my Instagram and my M's Gems Facebook page, as well as all my other social media sites and a bunch of other videos I think you guys might enjoy. If you guys have any other holiday tutorials or maybe New Year's Eve tutorial looks that you guys would like to see, please leave them in the comments. And that's about it. So I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in my next video.